Welcome to this series of the card magic of the great Ed Marlo. My name is Bill Malone and I've been a professional corporate entertainer for over 30 years. I'm forever indebted to my friend and teacher, Ed Marlo. Marlo probably wrote more on card magic than any other person. Starting with the publication of his first book, Pasteboard Presto, in 1938, he gave us more than 50 years of some of the best card magic ever created. Writing over 60 books and manuscripts and contributing over 2,000 tricks to various magazines in many countries. Every Saturday afternoon from 1978 to 1987, I had the pleasure and good fortune of sessioning with Eddie. At that time, the regulars at the table were Simon Aronson, Dave Solomon, Steve Drawn, and myself. Over the years, other longtime students included Don May, Randy Wakeman, Alan Ackerman, John Rockenbaumer, Jimmy Nuzzo, Bill Dennis, just to name a few, and the list goes on and on. Besides writing books and sessioning with his friends, Marlo also corresponded with magicians of all ages, literally throughout the world. Magicians came to Chicago just to meet the person whom many considered the greatest card man who ever lived. Marlo thought about magic every waking moment of every day. He regularly created, improved, and finessed all branches of card magic. Whether it was technical sleight of hand, mathematical tricks, or easy self-working effects, his ideas still inspire magicians everywhere. With his large volume of material and his drive, Marlo sometimes found himself in disputes. While occasionally he may have been the center of controversy, he was always the center of card magic. Marlo is a legend in card magic along with other great card men, including one of his early heroes, Mr. Di Vernon. Both Mr. Vernon and Mr. Marlo's names appear on the Card Stars of the USA list. Marlo was voted in after the death of one of the original members from the book Greater Magic. The purpose of these DVDs is to bring Marlo's material back to life. I've changed some of these routines and brought them up to date, and you may have already seen some in print or on video. I'm not a historian, but I've done my best to supply you with references to the original publications and the information you will need to compare with the originals. In the process, to stimulate your imagination, I offer basic presentations and leave the rest up to you. Overall, I'll concentrate more on the technical and plot variations that made Marlo the legend he is. These DVDs would not be complete without the help of my dear friends and fellow Marlo students, Steve Drawn, Simon Aronson, and Dave Solomon. After a 20-year absence from Chicago, I'm happy to have the four of us back together again. The person who deserves the most thanks is my beautiful wife, Barbara, who sat and watched Marlo routines every day for the last 6 months. Literally hundreds of card tricks. She even mentioned that now she knows how Muriel must have felt. Muriel was Marlo's wife and his childhood sweetheart. Their relationship started in grade school and lasted until his death in 1991. These DVDs are dedicated to Muriel Marlo, who told me she was very excited about the project and felt that Ed would be as well. She was right when she said there was a lot of material to choose from, and she should know because she typed most of Marlo's early manuscripts from Eddie's handwritten notes. I hope this project helps keep Marlo's magic alive for many generations to come. Oh, and one more thing. Don't watch just the presentations. Make sure you watch the explanations. Throughout the explanations, I'll be doing more methods, more variations, and giving you more Marlo moves and advice. So anyway, let's get started. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Wow. When did you get here? I didn't even see you come in. But I'm glad you're here because I have some card tricks for you today. And as a matter of fact, I have a surprise for you. Okay, I have a special guest. We have one of the greatest female magicians in the world with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the great Samantha. Give her a big hand. Isn't that a good surprise? Okay, that was such a good surprise. Even Samantha was surprised by that. Okay, weren't you? So I'm going to let Samantha do a trick. Maybe we can coax her into it. Would you mind doing a trick for us? Okay, so I'm going to show you the cards. We have a shuffled deck of cards, and it's important that the cards are mixed up. So I want you to do me a favor, take the cards and give them a cut. Okay, and I'm going to show everybody that the cards are totally mixed up. You can see that they're all mixed up. What I'd like you to do, Samantha, is cut the cards in half. Just put half over there. Wow, that's great. You did fantastic. And just cut these in half. And if you don't mind, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just there you go. Boy, you're doing this carefully to cut these in half. Okay, so now we have 4 packets of cards which you cut to. Let's see what you got. You start off, you cut to a 5. So we're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll put the 5th card on the side. Over here we have a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll put that card on the side. Let's see what you got here. A king. That's a big one. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll put that one down, and one more. Let's see what you got. That's an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's see how you did. I think you did pretty well. Give Samantha a big round of applause. Thank you, Samantha. Excellent job, and thank you. This one appeared in the New Tops magazine in 1976, and it was called Spectator Counts and Cuts Down to the Aces. And it's just a wonderful trick. It's actually a self-working trick, and if you add a little bit of sleight of hand to it, it certainly becomes a miracle. It's all done with a stacked deck of cards, and the stack is ace through king, ace through king, ace through king, ace through king 4 times, and you pay no attention to the colors or the suits, only the values, ace through king, ace through king, ace through king, ace through king. Now, Marlo, when he did this trick, he would set the deck, do 6 perfect pharaohs, and then put the deck in the case. When he got to the show, he would do 2 perfect pharaohs, and he's ready to go. I don't do that. I use a couple of false shuffles that are really pretty much unknown, of course, to laymen and even to a lot of magicians. So it gives me the same feeling of people believing I'm starting with a shuffled deck. The false shuffles that I use were on my tapes. Here I Go Again from L&L Publishing, and I used the Ravelli Shuffle. The Ravelli Shuffle is a creation of Mr. Ron Wall, and it's a false shuffle that looks like you just take the cards and give them a cascade shuffle, and it's a false shuffle each and every card. I'll do it one more time. It looks like you just take the cards, riffle them together, and they're mixed. However, I did not mix one card. Every card is still in order, ace through king all the way through. So let's talk about the Ravelli Shuffle. First, I start off, I have to do a slip cut. And a slip cut means I have to slip the top card into the middle of the pack. At the same time, I want it to look like I'm cutting the cards. So the cards are held in dealing position, and my empty hand comes over the top in overhand position. I put my thumb across the top of the deck. In the back, I lift up half the pack with my thumb, and then I'm going to cut the top half out, but I'm going to hold on to the top card so it slides down and goes to the middle, and then I'm going to hold a break between the two, okay? Let me do that again. Let me show you how it looks at speed. It looks like I just cut the cards, and I'm done, okay? Make sure that when you do the slip cut, you slip that off and hold a break over it, not under it, over it, as you slap that on and hold your break, okay? The second step of the Ravelli Shuffle is the cards are turned up end for end, and you transfer the break to your thumb. You riffle off half the pack up to the break. You then use your fingers to help lever that end up so your thumb can take hold of it. You're now going to apparently riffle shuffle these cards together, but actually as your hands I have been drinking all day. No, just kidding. As your hands turn inwards towards each other, your right thumb that has the card you slip cut in is going to pull back one card, and the other cards are going to be riffled under it. You're going to get a shuffle sound because I'm riffling these cards off of the flesh of my thumb. Okay? When I'm done, if you examine the deck, you'll notice that there's a corner sticking out here in the back. If you place your thumb on that corner and bend your cards, it looks like you're cascading them. It doesn't look like that in slow motion, but let me show you how it looks again at speed. You do your slip cut, you do your shuffle, and then you do that. Okay, that's the Ravelli shuffle. Now, I do that twice, and then I have a spectator cut and complete the cut. I offer them another chance to do it. It doesn't matter. The cards can be cut 100 times. It's not going to mix the cards. It's only going to mix the start point and the stopping point. Okay, so now anyway, after the cards have been shuffled twice, I fan the cards out, and I do it so the numbers are upside down when the spectator is looking at them. I don't want to do it where they see the numbers right side up because they may see a pattern. If I do it this way, upside down, this is Marlo's thinking, it's less likely because of the color mixture throughout that they're going to see any kind of pattern whatsoever. And it's only for a moment you say, okay, a shuffled deck, and just to make sure, we'll mix them a little more. Now you're going to do a great overhand shuffle called the optical shuffle, where it looks like you just shuffle these, put them back down, have the spectator cut again. The optical shuffle is a shuffle that, again, it only cuts the cards. It doesn't mix them. So you undercut the bottom half like you're going to do a regular overhand shuffle. What you do is you hold on to these cards and you shake your bottom hand up, getting these cards to move, and your thumb fakes taking them. So when you apply all this together, you get a great illusion of these cards being mixed, okay? So after you do that a couple of times, you allow the cards to be cut again. When you pick up these cards, you're again going to look for a certain card, a 6, a 7, or an 8. If it's there already, you're fine. But let's just say it wasn't. Let's say you picked up the cards and there was an ace there. So what you would do is spread these in clumps as you're showing they're mixed and cut a 6, 7, or an 8 to the face and then put them down. You now ask the spectator to cut these in half, cut these in half, and cut these in half. The first thing you do is you check now. If the spectator by chance cut exactly half, all 4 of these cards would be the same. If that happens, you have a miracle. So the first thing you do is you check and you make sure they're all different, which they're all different. But it could have been 4 8s, 4 9s, and you would have a miracle. If it's not, you continue on, and this is even more of a miracle. And believe me, when magicians see this, they have no clue how this could have worked. You pick up the first packet, you turn over the top card, whatever the value is. In this case, it's a 6. You turn that face down and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put the 6th card on the side. You do the same thing with the second packet. Here's a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put that card on the side. Let's see what you cut to the third packet, a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the 5th card on the side, and let's see what you got here, a 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was a random choice. The cards were shuffled. You could have cut them any way you wanted. And how in the world did you manage to find the 4 aces? That spectator counts and cuts and counts down to the aces. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun with it. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's funny, one bad thing about being a magician is we never get a chance to play cards because people think that all magicians cheat at cards, and we don't. My friends play cards a lot, and once in a while they'll let me play, but when they do, they make me use one hand. Now, they don't know this, but it is possible to cheat even using one hand. I'll give you a demonstration. Look, I'm going to use these 4 aces to show you how somebody would cheat you with just by using one hand. So we'll start like this. We'll take the ace of hearts, and what we will do is we will bury it into the center of the pack just like that, okay? So that's ace number 1. Ace number 2 is the ace of diamonds. We'll put it on top, and again, we'll cut the cards. So ace number 2 is completely lost. And Olga, if that is your real name, or we will let you help me this time, would you just cut those cards and complete the cut? And Jessica, would you do the same? I'm sorry, put the ace on top first. And cut them and complete the cut. That's awesome. Very good. Wow, you're card sharks yourselves, huh? And which pile did you want to go where? This on top of here? It doesn't make any difference. Thank you so much. I'll do it. You don't get up. Let me get it. All right. So now that the cards are all mixed up, I'm going to show you that it is possible to cheat using just one hand only. All we do is cut like this, and that should be the first ace. That's the club. Ace number 2, that's the ace of spade. Followed by ace number 3, that's the ace of diamond. And one more, the ace of hearts. And that's one-handed cheating that card. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me, Bill Malone, and we're going to do a trick called one-hand control, which appeared in the Cardition 1953, and it also appeared in Marlo's early lecture notes. It's done with 4 aces, and what I also use are 2 breather crimps, okay? I'll briefly talk about the breather crimps. In the original Cardition, Marlo used 2 corner crimps, and if you like, you can use the corner crimps, but lately anyway, I love using breather crimps. Now these breather crimps are made so the breather is cut to the face. What I mean by that, if the king of diamonds is in the deck and I cut, it will be on the face. And the way to prepare that breather is to put your hands where your thumbs meet in the center of the back of the card, and you kind of pull your thumb down to the corner on each end, your index finger and second finger making a little channel, so you're actually putting, I'm going to put this in real sharp so you can see, you're actually like making an X in the card, okay? Then you kind of take the bend out, do the same thing with the other breather. The other one is the king of clubs, and now you're all set, okay? You begin by putting 1 king in the center of the pack, 1 breather, and the other breather on the bottom. Now, if you look very closely at the deck, you can see the line where the breather is. So sometimes you can cut to that card, and for insurance, you can actually look there. But in this routine, there's another thing that helps you as well, which I'll discuss. So you start off talking about your friends only let you play cards with 1 hand. They don't know this, but you are able to cheat with 1 hand. And I start off, I have my 4 aces on top, and as I'm talking about my friends letting me play cards with 1 hand, I have a break under the 4 aces. I'm going to do Louis Simonoff's move called flippant, which is a flourish way to turn over those 4 aces and deal them out on the table. And the way that works is because you have a break on them by moving your hand up and then pulling it down quickly. These cards just turn over in midair and land back on top of the pack. So it looks like this, okay? And now you deal them out in a row. You now put the deck of cards face down and you say, I'm going to show you how a dealer would cheat you using just 1 hand. You pick up the first ace and you put it on top of the deck so it's outjogged. You now cut it to breather, and just to make sure that you have it, you can look, and I do in the presentations, and your reason for looking is to say, look, I'll cut the deck about in half, okay? You now spread the pack out. With 1 hand, you push that card flush, and then with 1 hand, you square them up and tap them on a table so they're nice and square. You say, now we'll take the second ace, we'll place it on top of the pack, and we'll give the pack a cut. You again check, make sure you got the breather, and then you dribble the cards and spread them, showing no breaks. Now you put 1 ace in front of this person, and you cut the pack at the breather, and you place the ace on top, and then you push this packet towards another spectator and put the ace on top. You ask each spectator to cut and complete the cut. Then you ask them, which pile do you want to put, this one on that one or this one on that one? It makes no difference, and it really doesn't. So let's say they put that on there. You now square the cards up, and you give it this cut, which looks like a triple cut, but actually it just cuts the cards, okay? So you're going to cut about 2/3 off the top, and then go forward again with about another 1/3. Now you're going to go back to the original packet that was on the bottom, skip over the middle one, and then pick up the middle one and put it on top of all. What that does basically is the same thing as a cut does. So now in the deck are the 4 aces, and below each breather, like here's 1 breather, okay, and below it are 2 aces, and then below the other breather, which is down here, you have 2 aces. So now with 1 hand, if you just kind of relax your grip, the deck will open at the breather. You do a Charlier cut. I push the top card over, put my index finger underneath, I turn it face up, I draw my wrist back, and I sail that card forward. I once again bring the card to my fingertips. I cut at the breather. It'll drop there automatically. I finish the one-hand cut. I again turn it over and sail it forward. You do this 2 more times. That's the third ace. And you say one more. And you say that, my friends, is all 4 aces. And that's one-hand control. Before I leave you, however, let me just go through the Shirley cut. The Shirley cut is made where the cards are held at your fingertips. You relax your thumb, letting half the deck fall. You use your index finger to push up till it stops, and then you relax your fingers and open up so you can complete the cut. That's the cut you use to cut to the breathers. And that's one-hand control. I hope you enjoy it. One of my favorite tricks. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing I don't understand about cards. If I take a deck of cards, which is all face down, and then I turn one half face up, and I shuffle it into the other half, look what happens. All I do is I mix the cards up like this, and if I do this correctly, all I have to do is give the deck one little cut, and now snap the fingers, and every card will straighten out except for the 4 aces, each one in a different part of the deck. And now here is the explanation for one shuffled Eddie. I'm going to show you 2 methods of this. One is by Don May, and the other one is Ed Marlo's from Marlo magazine. And this is the way it works, okay? You start off, the 4 aces are on top of the deck. And first I will show you the Marlo version, okay? You start off by spreading the cards face down so they can see there's no cards reversed. You now square up the pack, and you lift up on the top 2 cards, which are aces. You then pull them back just a little bit, and you take out half the pack that's underneath them. So now what you have is you have 2 aces here on top of this half, and 2 aces on top of this half. You turn this half face up, leave the other one down, and what you want to do is you want to spread this face up, but you don't really want those aces to show, even though you haven't even mentioned them yet. So you really want to first spread forward and then spread down. That way those aces won't show. Spread the other packet face down. You square them up and you say, look, here's what I don't understand. When I shuffle the face down cards together with the face up cards, strange things happen. And what you do is you start to shuffle kind of as a closed shuffle. What I mean by that, don't hold the cards at the ends, hold them more near the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to shuffle by letting a few cards drop from your thumb, okay? And not the ace packet. The ace packet is in this hand. Next, you let 1 ace drop. Then you let a couple more cards drop. Then another ace drop. Then you're going to let all of the cards on this end drop except for 2 that you're holding back. Now you drop a few face-up cards, 1 card from the other hand, which is an ace, few more face-up cards, and then 1 single card. You push them together, and now what you do is you pick up the deck where the middle portion is, where the back to back meets, and you're going to do a table reverse. You're going to take your thumb, press on the packet so it tilts up behind the other one as you square the deck up. Now you're able to just snap your finger, and when you spread out the cards, the 4 aces will be reversed. That's the Marlo method. My good friend and fellow Marlo student, Don May, came up with his own method, and here it is. And I think I like this version a little better. I'm just more used to doing this one. And it's the same setup. Aces start on the top. You don't have to do pull 2 aces over and pull out from the middle. Here you just spread. Then you separate the deck. You show half face up, half face down. All 4 are here, so you don't have to worry about hiding anything here. You square these up. You square these up. You now put them together. You're going to start a shuffle, and all you do here is the half that has the aces on, you lift up so you have a break on 4 cards, okay? I'm going to try to show you that from the top. I got a break on the 4 aces, okay? And you start off. You lift up both packets ready for the shuffle, but remember here I'm only lifting 4 cards. You shuffle some face-up cards, then you let a face-down ace go. Then some more face-up, another ace. A few more and another ace, and a few more and another ace. Now you push them together, and instead of looking for the middle to lift up, you just take your hand and lift up this whole side of the packet. That will leave a stack of face-down cards behind the deck. You press with your thumb so they reverse as you push everything together. Let it all drop down face up. Give the pack a cut by cutting about 2/3 or more and complete the cut. Now you snap your fingers, spread them out, and that's called one shuffle Eddie. And with one shuffle, you mix the cards face up, face down, snap your finger, they all straighten out except for the 4 aces. It's a nice beginning to any ace trick, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now it's time for a card trick, something we haven't had in a long time today. Okay, I'm going to remove the 4 aces from the deck. We have the clubs, the diamonds, there's the heart, and there should be one more, the big one, the ace of spade. Now, I want you guys to watch this close. Can everyone see the 4 aces? Just say yes. Yes. That's very good. You're cooperating. Okay, I want you to keep your eye on the 4 aces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deal them out in a row on the table, just like this. And we'll take the cards, we'll give them a little shuffle. And Jessica, if you don't mind, just give the cards a cut. Just like that. Wow, very good. Excellent. Now, what I'm going to do is on top of each ace, I'm going to deal just a few cards, like this. Okay, so each ace gets a few cards. And I'm sorry, does anybody remember which ace this is? Spades. That's the leader ace, always the leader ace. Watch what happens. If we take this ace, and this ace, and give just a little riffle, the aces will completely vanish from here and arrive over here. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4 aces. Thank you very much. I remember like it was yesterday when Marlo fooled all of us on a Saturday afternoon with this particular routine. This is an ace assembly that has a very clever idea at the end of it, and let me run through and teach it to you. Okay? To start off, you need a slight setup of 1 card. The ace of spade is 1, 2, 3, 4th from the top. That's the only setup you need. So what you do to begin, you go through the deck, and as you come to the aces, you place them face down on a table. So there's the diamond. And there's the hearts. There is the club. And the reason I put the ace of spades 4th from the bottom, because what I want to do now is I'm going to close up the spread, but keep a break over the ace of spades. That way I can place the deck off to the side and take this card, apparently as 1, and pick these up. So actually, instead of having just 4 aces, I now have 3 X cards with it. Okay? So you start off by showing the 4 aces, doing the stencil squiggly move. Take the 3 single ones and put them at the back. Now turn the whole packet over, and once again you say I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 aces. Now you lean back just a little bit towards the edge of the table as you square the 3 single aces up. Notice how they're down jogged just a little, because my hand is going to come over the front end, and as soon as my fingers touch this corner, those cards fall into the lap. You immediately take these out, and you pull them up in your hand, square them a little, and then spread them out in a row on the table. So look how clean you are. They have to be the aces. You just showed them. As long as the lapping went by everyone, they have to be down there. Now you pick up the deck and you say, I'm going to put 3 cards on top of each ace. So you fan off the first 3, show them, drop them on top of the first pile. Oh, by the way, this is the only ace. These are X cards. You fan off the next 3 cards, flash their faces, drop them there. Same way with the third pile. Now the last pile, you take the 3 off, you flash the face, and then you say, wait a minute, do you remember the name of this ace? As you turn this over to show them which one it is, your other hand is picking up the aces in your lap. You say, so the leader ace is the ace of spade. You come back up, and you say, we'll put 3 on top of there. Then you pick these up, one on top of the other, give a little riffle, and show that the aces have vanished from here and have arrived over here in the leader packet. The idea of picking the aces from your lap is really a good one. One more little detail. Let's go back to where I just lapped the aces, okay? And on the table, I have the supposed aces. So here's one here. These are X cards. What I do right after I lap them and put them out in a row, I usually tell somebody, would you give the cards a cut? While they're cutting, I drop my hand into my lap and I turn these face up and put them on my leg. It makes it a little easier and quicker and faster to be able to pick them up on the deck. So when I get these back after they're cut, I put 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. I put 3, oh, wait a minute, do you remember the name of that? That's the ace of diamond. 3 go here. See how I was able to pick them up a lot quicker? Anyway, you finish it the way I said, give a riffle. They vanish from here, and here are the 4 aces. That's Marlo's lapped ace assembly from the Tears book. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, this was a long day for everybody. I am just exhausted.
Bill, do another trick for us.
No, Olga, I'm done now. We've done so many card tricks. I'm just tired right now. But, no, Olga, I can't. But
por favor.
What?
Please, por favor.
Oh, God, I'm getting closer. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Tú eres muy caliente. Hot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm ready. I'm doing more. Here comes 3 more DVDs on card magic. Frank, are you ready? I want you to help me this time, okay? I'm going to riffle through the pack like this, and as the cards go by, I want you to just say stop anywhere you like. Stop. Okay, can you remember that card in your mind? And I'll show it to everybody. I'm going to take the cards, Frank, and I'm going to give them a little cut, just like this, and just to make sure that your card is completely lost, I will give the cards a little shuffle. Quicker than we can say the magic words, I love Olga, every single card straightens out except for one. Yes. What?
That's not it.
I told you I didn't want to do another trick. I don't know why you pushed me into it. But it's okay, Olga, because just for you, see, that's not a miss. That's an indicator card. It indicates 2 things. First of all, it indicates that I missed. But second of all, because it's a 10, that tells me, Frank, that your card is exactly 10 cards down. Okay? So for the first time, name your card out loud. What was it, Frank?
5 of diamonds.
You're not going to believe this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th card down. The 5. Yes! Yes! Thank you very much. Okay, here we go again. Our next effect is called Casino Countdown, and this trick appeared in Marlo's Advanced Fingertip Control. Casino Countdown is a great little trick. It requires a very simple setup that you can do really quickly. I'll show you what it is. What you do is you take a shuffle deck of cards and you spread through until you find a 10 spot. There's a 10 spot, okay? I now get a break underneath the 10 with my little finger, and I turn all the cards above the 10 face down on top of it. I then take all the cards that are below the break, and I turn those face down on top of the deck. What that did was that reversed the 10 on the bottom. It's the Browley reversal. Let me show you what you do next. The 10 is reversed on the bottom. I'm now going to overhand shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4 cards to the bottom. So now when I'm finished, I have the 10 spot, reverse, 4 from the face, and I did that just casually right in front of the spectators. Now what I do is I hold the cards in preparation for a fingertip peek, and I hold the cards up, and I'm going to have the spectator say stop when I riffle. The only thing you have to be aware of is, remember, here near the bottom, 4 cards up, we have a reverse card. So you don't want to riffle the bottom cards because you don't want the reverse card to show. So as long as you start to riffle up in the deck a little bit, you have no chance of that card showing. So what I do is I have the spectator say stop. Let's assume it's here. I'm going to look at the card 2, the 6 of club. I now release the selection, and then I hold a break by pressing my little finger in at the bottom, and I release the rest of the cards. So now I have a little finger break there, at the back. Okay? Now, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to, without losing the little finger break, I'm going to move the cards up to my fingertips and give them a little flex. Notice I still have the break in the back. Okay? Now I'm going to cut half the cards above the break. Not at the break, but half the cards above the break to the table. My next cut, I'm going to cut the cards at the break on top of those. What's ever left over, I cut those in half, and then I take the last packet. Okay? Now all I have to do to make the trick work is to give the cards a Pharaoh shuffle. Don't let those two words, Pharaoh shuffle, scare you, because you don't have to be perfect. Only the cards in the center have to weave properly. So what I do is I break the deck about center, estimate as close as I can get. I butt the cards together, and if I lightly press on the corner, the cards will Pharaoh shuffle. And again, it's not a perfect out Pharaoh. In this case it is, but it doesn't have to be. I cascade them together, and I make a long spread across the table. I say one card in the deck turns over. Usually the spectator will say, no, that's not my card. I say, it's not. Of course it's not. That's an indicator card. It indicates two things. First of all, it indicates that I missed. And second of all, that's a 10. So look, if we take the deck and we count 10 from that spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What was your card? He says the 6 of club. You turn it over, it's the 6 of club. And that is the trick called Casino Countdown. Okay. Thank you very much. You know, my teacher in magic, Ed Marlo, was a very serious student of card magic. Kind of like Olga, how you're, serious student of Bill Malone. But Eddie Marlo was really serious. He liked to invent magic for magicians, not really for the public. He liked fooling magicians. And because of that, sometimes magicians said he had no sense of humor. So Eddie wanted to come up with a trick that would prove he had a sense of humor, and this is that trick. Okay, so we have 3 cards, a 3 of hearts, a 2 of hearts, and an ace of hearts. It's actually a little spelling trick. So if you take the 3 cards like this and you spell ace by going A, C, E, you turn over the top card and you get an ace. It's an easy trick. And then you spell 2, T, W, O, and when you turn over the top card you get a 2. And then the 3, you spell T, R, E, E. That's tree of hearts, and you get the 3 of hearts. But anyway, that was a trick of Ed Marlowe's, and maybe those other magicians were right. Maybe he had no sense of humor. But anyway, that's a great little trick. Just a little bit of history. Thank you very much. A trick as lovely as a tree. This is the trick where I pattered about. Magicians thought Ed Marlo didn't have a sense of humor, so he came up with this particular trick to prove that he did. This is what he did to prove he had a sense of humor. He took a card and he made a tree and put 10 hearts in it and called it the 3 of hearts. Now that's some funny stuff, okay? So when you look at me and you say Marlo wasn't funny, this is what I show you, okay? I also will show you the routine that was published in 1953 by one of our greatest close-up entertainers of all time, Don Allen. Don Allen used Marlo's gaff in this little spelling trick, and it was called a twick as lovely as a twee. The order of the cards from the top down is the 3 of hearts, followed by the ace of hearts, followed by the 2 of hearts, and last the 3 of hearts. You start off the trick like this. You say this is a trick with 3 cards, and you fan over the top 3 cards, one underneath the other. As you gesture, get a break under the next card, so when you come back, you can lift up 4 and turn them over. Okay, this is the Don Allen handling. So now you're going to do the browy addition. Your thumb is going to peel off the 3. You say we have the 3 of hearts. Use the cards in your other hand to flip that down. And we have the 2 of hearts. Flip that down. And then turn over the double, and we have the ace of hearts. We have the 1, the 2, and the 3 of hearts. Those cards are reverse counted one at a time onto the table. You don't need the deck anymore. Now you're clean. You say, look, if I take the cards and I spell ace, I get an ace. And what you do is you're going to move the top cards to the bottom, one for each letter of the word you're going to spell. So in this case, I'm going to spell ace, A-C-E, but instead of taking the top card on the very first one, I'm going to push over 2, which is very easy with 3 cards. You just hold the bottom card from moving and push 2. Take the 2 as 1, put it on the bottom and say A. Then take the next card, put it on the bottom and say C. And take the next card, place it on the bottom and say E. If I spell ace, I get an ace. You turn over the top card and place it off to the side. You now say, watch what happens when I spell the 2. T, W, O, and I get the 2. That time you just spell normal. There's no doubles. You say, but here's what I don't understand. When I spelled a tree, T-R-E-E, I spelled tree, and I get the 3 of hearts. Okay? Anyway, that's just a little nostalgia. I don't know if you'll ever use this. If you do, you can still find this card at your magic dealers called the 3 of Hearts. And just for the record, the way that I did it in the performance, I started off with the 3 of Hearts and then the 2 of Hearts and the 3 this way. And I just took the 3 cards out of my pocket. I fanned them over, showing the 3, 2, the ace is a double. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lap the 3. And the way I did that is as I turn these cards over, my thumb is going to pull that card back. So now when they turn over, that 3 is down jogged. And as I flex the cards a little, I let that 3 drop. Now I reverse count these onto the table, and I'm right in the same position as when I did the Browie edition. I deal a double for A, then C, E for ace, then T, W, O for the 2, and then T, R, E, E, that's the 3 of hearts. And that's Ed Marlo's 3 of hearts. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to do a little effect called the interlace vanish. Let me show you how it works. It's done with 4 cards, 4 kings, hearts, spades, diamonds, and clubs. And also we need 3 cards selected out of the pack. So I'm going to spread the cards out. And Olga, would you do me a favor? I don't want to get a picture card because I don't want the cards to clash, but would you just touch any number card for me? Just touch one. Wow, that 6 of diamonds will never be the same. Okay, that's number 1. And Frank, will you want to call one out or touch or whatever? You want to touch it. I knew you did. I knew you did. 6 of hearts, Frank? Yeah. And Chicky Baby, which one would you like, please?
I'll take
The ace of clubs. I would have picked that one myself. That is a very good choice. You did very good. Now, watch this close. Each one of you have one of these cards, and I want you to remember each of your individual playing cards. We have 2 6s, so it might be hard, but I think you can do it. Good luck, okay? So watch us close. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 kings and the 3 cards that you chose. I'm going to interlace the 3 cards that you chose in between the kings like this. 1 goes here, 1 goes here, and I want you to notice they really are going inside, in between, okay? So now, what we have, and watch us close, we have a king, a card, a king, a card, a king, and a card. So your cards so far are in between the kings. Now, every deck of cards has 1 bad luck card, and the bad luck card is the ace of spade. Did you ever hear that? The bad luck card? Ace of spade. If the ace of spade is in the deck, the trick doesn't work. So I'm going to take the ace of spade, and Olga, would you just put your hand on top of it, please? Thank you very much. If that card's in the deck, it doesn't work. Now, remember what we have over here. We have a king and a card and a king and a card and a king and a card and a king, right? Your 3 cards between the kings. Look, all I do is this, and instantly your cards will completely vanish. I mean gone. Every single card. Okay? And let's see if we can get them back. Let's try the first one. All we do is give a cut like this, and the first card, whose was that? The ace of clubs, that was yours. Here comes the second card. All you do is another cut. That's the 6 of hearts. I think that was yours, Frank. And your card was?
the 6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds. Just a cut like that. Oh, wait a minute. That's the bad luck card. I told you that wouldn't work if that's in there. Turn it over. Show them, Olga. What do you got? The 6 of diamonds. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, my people. Come on, smile. Smile, yeah. The interlace vanish, a very clever trick, a trick that I have done for years, and let's get down to it. You begin by taking the 4 kings out of the deck, and as you find the kings, you're also looking for the ace of spades. Okay, so there's the ace of spades. So I kind of keep a track where that is. So after I take the kings out and put them on the side, I can now cut the cards so the ace of spade is maybe 5 or 6 cards from the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so it's near the bottom. I now take out the kings and I put them in order, 2 red and 2 black. It doesn't matter if the black's on top or the red, as long as the colors are separated. Now I'm going to have 3 cards chosen. So what I do is I spread the pack across the table, and I ask 3 spectators to please each touch a number card. And my reasoning for that is I don't want them to touch a picture card because I'd like a contrast, and a number card will contrast well with the picture cards. So let's say the first person picks a 3 of clubs, and let's say the second person picks a 7 of spades, and let's say the third person picks the 9 of diamonds. So those are the 3 selections. Remember, down here towards the bottom is the ace of spade. If by some slight chance one of the spectators tries to take out the ace of spade, you stop them and say, no, that's the bad luck card. And then later on that fits into the story. But if they don't, you just leave it where it is, square up the pack, turn the deck face down and leave it in front of you, but off to the side and turned on an angle. That's going to be important for later, okay? You now scoop up the 4 kings in one hand, the 3 selections in the other, put the kings on top of the selections, and you're ready to continue. You begin by saying, remember what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4 kings. And as you push over the 4th king, you keep pushing so it gets hidden underneath the other 3. That gives you a little step here. So now when you show the 3 selections, you can push those into that step. So when you close up the packet, you misplaced one of the cards. You misplaced the one selection. You misplaced the king to the bottom of the pack. Okay? Now the cards are face down. You say, I'm going to take the selections, and you reverse count the top 3 to the table. You say, I'm going to take the selections, and I'm going to interlace them between the kings. Actually, this is an indifferent card in 3 kings. They think these are 3 selections, but one of them is actually a king, okay? Now you're going to apparently take the selections and interlace them between the kings. So you pick up the first one. This will be the second spectator's card, by the way. You show it to the second spectator and you say, look, I'll place that card in between these 2 kings. And what you do from the back is you place it between the indifferent card and the king. Okay, and you make sure that the index, the number 3, is covered. You then take the next card, which is actually the 3rd selection, and you insert it between the next 2 kings, like this. Now you can't show the next selection because it's actually a king, so you're going to bring this fan down and say, look, the cards really are going in between, and that gives you an excuse not to have to show the last selection. You now square up the cards nice and slow, and you're going to do a jogging procedure which unmixes the cards. So you say, now what we have is a king, you spread over the king. We have a selection, you up jog it. We have another king, you down jog it. We have another selection, you up jog it. You now download. When you put up the second selection, you overlap it a little bit. So you have a little step here now, okay? Now when you bring the 3rd king down, you're going to take, and once you hear that little click or feel it, then it's okay to deal the king into there, and then the last 2 cards just go up as 1. Push everything together, and what you're going to do before you square them up, lift up in the back, so when you square them together, you end up getting a break. Your break will be 3, 4, below the 4 kings, okay? You're now going to do a bottom palm, and I always do this move on a relaxation. So I'll say a line, and then as I relax, I'll do the bottom palm. And the bottom palm I'm using, all I'm doing, I'll take this away, all I'm really doing is my little finger is pulling those cards into my palm. And I'm doing it under cover of these cards, Also, my hand is covering from the front, and the thickness in the front is being covered as well. So underneath, it looks like this. My little finger is just pulling those into the palm like that. Okay? I now will do two things at the same time. I'm going to take the packet, I'm going to put it down over here, and my other hand at the same time is going to pick up the deck. That's why it was important where I placed that deck before. So what happens is my attention I want over here. So I'm looking here as I put these down, and then the other hand is lifting up the deck. It's taking those palm cards, adding them onto this deck as I pick it up and turn it over. I say, wait a minute, every deck of cards has a bad luck card. The bad luck card is the ace of spade. I up jog it, I turn it over, reversing it, and I put it on the bottom. I then turn the whole packet over, and I get a break below the top four cards, because these are all, it'll be an ace, a face down card, two face up. I get a break below the four cards. I then do a quadruple turnover, which means turning over four cards as one, and I ask the spectator to place her hand, on the bad luck card. And my justification is, if the bad luck card is in the deck, the trick simply won't work. I now put the deck back off to the side. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin. The flexible count was left out of the footage by mistake, so we are putting it in here now. This is where you're at. You have a king face up, followed by a face down card and two kings. You're going to apparently show the spectators that you have 7 cards, 4 kings with a face down card in between each. And the way it's done is you're going to remove a single card on the count of 1, and then you're going to push 2 over, take those on top of the single on the count of 2. Now place everything in this hand, all 3 of these, go back to the other hand and leave them there as you take the single on the count of 3. Then push over 2 more, take them on top of the king for the count of 4. Everything goes back, then take a single for 5, push 2 over, take them on top for 6 and 7. So, once again, I'll get us in the order we need to be in. It looks like this. We have a king, a card, a king, a card, a king, a card, and a king. And once more, the way that works is you take a single off, your other hand pushes over 2. Now you come up and take the 2 onto that first king you took. So now you actually have 3 here. Place those 3 back as you pull off the single card. And then you're just going to repeat that again. Push the 2 onto the single, put them all back as you take a single, then put the 2 on, and then the king. Now you're ready to go on to the next phase in the trick. And I pick up the king packet. I say, now remember over here, we have your cards between the kings. And all I do is I spread the top 2. Now I'm going to do a count that's going to vanish the selections. Really, the selections have already been palmed out. These are actually just 4 kings. They think it's 4 kings with a card in between, 3 cards in between them. So now you're going to do a move called the out of position Elmsley counts. And what that means is you're going to hold the cards in your hand for a regular Elmsley count, but instead of peeling the king of diamonds off first, you're going to take the card from the bottom and peel it off and say 1. And then you're going to load that king of spade back as you push the next top 2 over, put the king of spade back as you take the top 2, and then you take the next card for the count of 3 and the last card for the count of 4. That's the out of position Elmsley count. You're now going to complete the visual vanish by buckling the bottom card, inserting your thumb into the buckle, finger on top, and you're going to turn the top 3 cards over and spread all the cards in a row as you drop them very singly to the table. Make sure you show them on each and every side. The cards have completely vanished. You say if you want to get them back, all you do is give the cards a cut, to make the second spectator's card, the first spectator's card appear, spectator number 1, you lift up and get a break on the top card and do a double undercut, meaning you're going to cut the deck in half, cut the bottom half up to the top, and then cut it your original break, and the first spectator's card will appear face up. To make the second spectator's card appear, it's actually on the bottom of the deck, but to reveal it, you're going to swivel cut the cards like this, and then your thumb is going to push up this card at the same time that it's pushing this card up. It gets a break on the ace of spade. So when the second selection comes out, you have a break here, and to make the ace of spade appear, you just pull that over. It makes the ace of spade flip up. You say, wait a minute, that's the bad luck card. Look under your hand. When the spectator looks under her hand, she has the third card, and that's a great little trick called interlace vanish. And I hope you have fun with it. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm going to try another trick. I tell you, in this trick, I'm going to make a prediction. Now, most predictions usually are made in the beginning, but the magician doesn't tell you what the prediction is, and then at the end of the trick, he'll tell you what the prediction. I'm going to openly tell you what my prediction is. And in order for me to first figure it out, I need you to, Carrie, would you stand up just for a second? Just stand up. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Just stand up. Okay, and just turn around once. No, go ahead. It's okay. Just turn around once. Okay, very good. You may be seated, okay? That had nothing to do with the trick. No, nothing at all. But no. In all seriousness, when you did that, I could tell that you are the 6 of hearts kind of girl. Am I right or wrong? I felt it. I really did. So what I'm going to do, the 6 of hearts is going to be my prediction card, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to deal the cards face up like this, one at a time. As I deal these cards, I want you to watch for the 6 of hearts, okay? Now, I'm going to deal them just like this, face up, one on top of the other. And while you're watching for the 6 of hearts, anytime you get just a feeling to stop me, you call out stop. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to take the next card and I'm going to deal it face down unless you want me to continue and use another. Is that okay? Uh-huh. Okay, so again, I want you to continue looking for that card, the 6 of hearts. And you can see, look, I'll go through every single card in the deck. There's no 6 here, right? There's no 6 here, right? There's no 6 of hearts in any of these cards. Now, I gave you a chance to change your mind. You dealt one card in the deck face down. What was the card? Yes, the 6 of hearts kind of girl. Thank you very much. This next trick is the open prediction, which was originally a problem posed by Paul Curry. This appeared in the Hierophant, and this is one of my favorite solutions to the open prediction. And when Marlo first showed it to me, he really fooled me bad. What you need to do in the beginning is you need to start with a reverse card, which will be your open prediction. The way I reverse the card is I hold the deck face up in my hand, and I let the cards kind of go askew so I can glimpse the back card, the bottom card of a face-up deck. In this case, it's the 8 of hearts. Now I'm going to do an overhand shuffle reverse, which means I'm going to push over the 8 of hearts, so it's over at the side, it's covered by my hand, but now I can turn these cards up as I go into an overhand shuffle. So at the completion of the shuffle, what I did was I reversed the 8 of hearts at the bottom. I now want to add a card to the bottom to cover that reverse card, so I do it with a double undercut. I get a break under the top card, I cut half the deck up to the top, and then I take another small packet, I'll do a triple undercut, up to the top, and then the third cut, I cut it to break and put that to the top. So all that really did was put a covering card, in this case the 6 of diamonds, over my reverse card, the 8 of hearts. And I do that as I'm talking to the spectator. I usually have a woman stand up and I ask her to turn around. And I say, okay, you can sit down. And then I get a laugh by saying that had nothing to do with the trick. And I'm sorry, actually it did have something to do with the trick. By watching your mannerisms, I could tell that you're an 8 of hearts kind of girl. And I name whatever my reverse card is, okay? So I said, so my prediction for this trick will be the 8 of hearts. And then I explain what's going to happen. I say, I turn the deck face down, and I say, I'm going to deal the cards face up onto the table. Now notice I went from the center of the table back to the edge on purpose, because later on I'm going to make a long spread, and I don't want the cards to be here. I have to move them over to do it. So I start with them over here. I ask the spectator to keep watching for the 8 of hearts, okay? After I deal approximately 8 to 10 cards, I tell her anytime she wants, she can yell stop. When she says stop, I give her a choice. I say, do you want this one or should I keep going? Once she's satisfied, I deal her card down, face down, but I deal it so it's side jogged off to the side. I then tell her to keep watching for the 8 of hearts, and I deal a few more cards face up on top of her card, okay? Her card is still side jogged, all right? Now I say, let's cut to the chase. I turn the deck face up. Remember, I have that 8 of hearts second from the face. I begin by pushing over 2 cards into my hand, saying there's no 8 of hearts here. That's because I pushed 2. It's underneath it. There's no 8 of hearts here. There's no 8 of hearts here. No 8 of hearts here. And I put those down. Then I spread all the rest. And I say, look, there's no 8 of hearts anywhere in there. Now I close up the spread. And I'm doing this great switch of Eddie's where you just put your hand on top of the pack and spread the cards. This card will hide. And the other face down card will make an appearance. And it looks like the 8 of hearts is the only card that is reversed in the deck. Actually, the other one is still down here, but it's hidden. So all you have to do is square everything up. Later on, when you get a free time or you have a nice weekend off, fix that, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. Did you guys know that there's more uses for playing cards besides just playing cards? Seriously. If you have a wobbly table, you take one of these, you slip it under, table's okay. Solitaire, it's good for solitaire. They're good for even, I know a friend of mine that uses them as weapons, and he can throw the card that he put your eye out and kill you. And he may even do it to me for just mentioning that he's able to do that. But also, a deck of cards is also a miniature elevator. Now, I know that sounds hard to believe, but I will give you a demonstration on the elevator, and I will first introduce you to the passengers of the elevators. The passengers are the ace, the 2, the 3, if it's in here, there it is, the 3, and the 4 of hearts. These are the passengers for the elevators, and I will give you a demonstration on how it works, okay? So, can everyone see the 4 passengers? Yes. Say yes?
Yes.
Good people. You're very, very good. Now, we're going to start off by taking the passengers and putting them out like this. The 4 goes here, the 3 goes here, the 2 goes here, and the ace goes down on the bottom floor. It starts on the bottom of the elevator. All we do is press that little button right there. That's the up button. And we press the up button, the ace comes to the top. No, it gets better. Look, the 2 goes on the top, and we press down, go down, baby, and down to the bottom goes the 2. The 3 goes into the elevator the wrong way, and if you do it right, it comes out the right way. The 4 gets on top of the elevator gets stuck, and the 4 comes down here in the middle, and that's the elevator. Thank you very much. Ed Marlo always liked tinkering with the elevator plot. He had many, many methods for it. The original one appeared in the Sphinx magazine titled Penetration. The one that I did in the performance is one that Ed and I worked on back in the 80s when I worked at a Magic Bar in Chicago, and one of the magicians showed me a 4-card elevator, and I showed it to Eddie, and he helped me change things, and that's the one I did in a performance. I'm going to show you both, though, okay? So to start off, the one that I did during the performance is one I do most often. The only setup required is you have a 4 of hearts second from the top of the deck, okay? So you start off by fanning through the cards, and you're going to remove the ace, 2, 3, and 4 of hearts. And in case you forgot, the presentation is the deck of cards is an elevator, and every elevator has 4 passengers. So you say, I'll remove the passengers from the elevator. That's 1, okay? And then you get to the next one, that's 2. And then you get to the next one, that's 3. And then when you get down to the end, you see the 4, you square up holding a break over the 4, so you can now put the deck on the side, and this is actually a double. You lift these up, okay? So now you can turn it over, and if they're not in the correct order, you now place them, ace at the face, 4, ace, 2, 3, and then 4 at the back, okay? So if you want to, you can start it right from here. You can show the ace, 2, 3, 4, turn the cards face down, and then you're going to do a double lift from a small packet of cards. And the way you do this is called Marlo's diminishing lift sequence, okay? And it's pretty easy to do. You start off, you take your third finger, and you plant it on the corner of the packet to keep the packet steady in your hand. Your other hand that's holding the cards pulls back 1 card from the bottom. Your second finger then goes on the second card and pulls back another one. Your third finger goes to the third card and pulls back a third card. So now, if you look, you can see 3 cards jogged over to the side, and the one on top is actually a double aligned. So it's easy for me to turn over the double, show the 4, and then place it down. I'm now going to do the diminishing lift sequence again by pulling back 1, then 2, turning over the double, and you put the 3 down. Now I'm going to pull back just 1 card. I show the 2, and the last one I just show as an ace, and I say the last one goes on the elevator. Better yet, we'll start the last one at the bottom, okay? So what I did there, I had a double. You show it, you put it there for a second, and then maybe sweep off some lint, and then drop it on the table and drop the elevator on top. Everything else is self-working. You say we have an up button, we press up, and the ace comes up to the top. The 2 goes on the top, and it goes down to the bottom. The 3 goes in the wrong way. You put it in the middle of the deck, and then I say it comes out the right way. I use this move where you lift the deck, and you're going to put the back end of the deck on the flesh of your thumb, this pop-out move, and your index finger is going to pull down 1 card, and if you push with your index finger, that card will come out and turn just slightly. So when the other hand is in front of it, hiding it and wiggling the fingers, it looks kind of mysterious how that card comes out. So once again, you say the card goes in the wrong way, comes out the right way. You say now the last one, the 4 goes on top, the elevator gets stuck, and the 4 comes out here in the middle. One thing I guess I should tell you is the reason that works is you're 1 ahead, okay? So when you do your first switch out, you're really 1 ahead. Try this routine, and you're going to have fun, because if you're new to card magic, in the very beginning, you're going to do it once and think, how did I do that? But then you'll realize what I mean by you're 1 ahead. Anyway, that is the elevator routine. I'm also going to show you the original trick called penetration that appeared in the Sphinx magazine, Marlo's elevator, and it was like this. It was a 3-card sequence. So you started off, we have an ace, a 2, and a 3 of hearts. So we'll deal them out, ace, 2, 3. The 3 goes on the bottom, you riffle the cards up, and the 3 comes to the top. The 2 goes on the top, you riffle the cards down, and the 2 goes to the bottom. The ace goes in the middle, and you just riffle up, and the ace comes to the top. Okay, so that was penetration. That's where a lot of elevator routines started, I guess. And what you do is you have the ace, 2, 3, and 1 extra card behind them on top of the deck. So you start off by doing a double left. What I do there is a double push off. I just put my thumb on top of the deck. I push over 2 as close as I can get them. I then grab the double. See how it's unaligned just a little bit? My third finger aligns that as I'm turning the card up. I use the double to turn over the next card, and then I use both of those to turn over the third card. So I call them out ace, 2, 3, and I deal them out onto the table in a row. Ace, 2, 3. The rest, again, is self-working because you're 1 ahead. You say the 3 goes on the bottom, comes up to the top, 2 on the top, goes to the bottom, and the 1 in the middle comes back to the top, and that's penetration. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very, very, very much. I'm going to show you once again how a dealer would cheat you in a card game. This is to protect you, so you never get in that position where they're taking your money. Okay, so I'm going to show you how dealers cheat by using these 4 aces, okay? I want you to watch this as close as you can. If I take these cards like this and I just snap my finger, 1 ace will turn face up. I'll do it again. That might have been too fast. All I do is snap the finger, and now the 2nd ace turns face up. That's 2. Now, if I don't snap my finger, the cards stay face down. But as soon as I give it a snap, the cards turn face up. Now, not only do I cheat in the trick, but I also cheat at poker. See, that's a royal flush. That's the highest hand the person can get. Thank you very much. Welcome. Now we're going to do a routine called Touch Turn Poker from John Rockenbaumer's book titled At the Table. As a matter of fact, I had this trick on my first set of DVDs, and mistakenly I called it Twisted Flush. But the actual title is Touch Turn Poker. And there's a story behind this trick. When I was young, I went to the Magic Castle. I met Larry Jennings for the first time, and he showed me a great twisting effects with the aces where they turned to a royal flush at the end. He taught it to me. I went to the table, I showed it to Ed, and Ed developed this method, which is totally different than the one Larry did, and just at the spur of the moment, on the spot. And anyway, here it is, and it's in the book At the Table. Your setup is a red ace. It can be heart or diamond. In this case, it's heart. Then a royal flush, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, and then the ace of clubs. So it's easy to remember the setup. Just always remember royal flush in the middle, red ace on the face, black ace on the back. Usually I'll start by giving these cards a little crimp in the back, and I'll have them on top. So see that little crimp there? That tells me where to lift up the cards to grab that packet. So because there's a crimp, all you have to do is reach down, pick up at the crimp, and turn the packet over. So you actually have picked up a total of 7 cards. I like doing it that way just because it's nice to pick up the packet and say we're going to use 4 aces. Now, just because there's 7 cards, we're going to be doing Elmsley counts, and 7 cards doesn't make it any harder. I'll show you what I mean. You start off with an Elmsley count. You take the face ace, the red one, on the count of 1. You then push all the cards over with the other hand except for the bottom one. You reload the ace of hearts as you take all the cards, counting 2. And then you spread over the club and the heart as you count 3 and 4. But don't take the heart out. Leave it in position. And then when you square up, keep a break under those 2 cards. You're now going to reverse these 2 cards on the bottom. And you're going to do it by tilting your hand out of the audience view. And once the hand is tilted out of their view, your thumb goes to the very top edge of the cards and pulls down 2 cards about an inch. Your other hand grabs the top end of the packet and turns it down end for end on top. So your situation now is you have the clubs and hearts reversed on the bottom. Okay? To the spectator, it should look like all you did was turn the face-up cards face down. You now are going to make the aces turn over one at a time. The first one, you do it by using the Elmsley count. You take a single card, push over the block, getting ready, so you can reload the single, take the block. The next card is the reversed ace. You up-jog that and put the last ace on top. So the first ace, a red one, has turned face up. You remove it and turn it face down on top. You say, look, I'll do it again. You snap your finger. Again, you take the top single, get ready for a block, reload the single as you take the block. The second reversed ace will show. Keep it up jogged. And when you put the very last card on top, hold a break under it. You now remove the ace of clubs, put it face up for a second, and you're going to stud turn over the ace of club and put it on the bottom. But you don't want them to see the backs of the cards, so you bring your hands up out of view, then you take the double, this is a double, and you put it on the bottom and then bring your hands back down. You say, if I don't snap my finger, nothing happens. All the cards stay down. To make all the cards stay down, it's just another Elmsley count. Take the top single card, push over a block, reload the single card as you take the block, the next card, and then the final card. No breaks this time. For the third ace, you say, I just snapped my finger, and now another ace will turn over. And again, it's an Elmsley count. It's 3 Elmsleys in a row. You take a single card, push over the block, reload the card as you take the block. Now you take the third ace, which is reversed, and you use the final card to flip that face down and leave it in its position. You say, to make the last ace turn over, I cheat. I turn over all the cards. You say, not only do I cheat in the trick, but I cheat when I play cards as well. You're now going to reverse count the cards, one on top of the other, ace, king, queen. And when you see the jack, you're going to push over all the cards and just pull that bottom card back. So you're going to take the jack as a block, snap the 10, and go back jack, queen, king, ace. So at the very end, you say, look, not only do I cheat in the trick, I cheat in cards as well. Turn that over, go 1, 2, 3, block, push off, snap this card over, and then reverse count them back and put everything on the top of the deck. And that's that. Have fun with it. Don't do it in a real poker game. If you get caught, don't call me. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what. Let's try a trick. I'm going to try a trick that was shown to me by a good friend of mine, Simon Aronson. And he's one of my Chicago guys, one of the card guys that knew Ed Marlo really well. And this is what it's like, okay? Here's what I want you to do, Scotty. I want you to cut off a packet of cards and then look at the bottom card, remember what it is, and after you do that, give them a shuffle and put them back, okay? So just cut a small packet of cards, look at the bottom card, remember it, and shuffle them up. And I'll tell you what, hold on to the cards even. Hold on, don't even put them back. Shuffle them up. Don't even put them back. Shuffle them up as much as you want. And Angela, would you do the same? Just cut off a packet of cards and look at the bottom card, remember what it is. And you two, shuffle them up, mix them up, so both of you have to agree there is no way that I can know either one of those cards. I haven't even touched the deck right now. And they're all mixed up. And what I would like you to do, Scotty, is I want you to just fan the cards out in front of you like a poker hand. Try to make sure every card is showing.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you to turn that deck around and show me the faces.
Okay.
And then count to 3 in your mind and right away turn them back.
So
and yes, in those 3 seconds, not only am I going to look for your card, but I'm going to try to memorize every single card you're holding right now. Okay? It's not going to work, but I'm going to try. Okay? You ready? Show me the cards now. Good. Okay? And Angela, would you do the same? Just fan them out in poker hand, and then show me the cards for 3 seconds. You know, good? Okay, you didn't have as many, so I didn't even need 3 seconds for yours. Do me a favor. I don't want to confuse them both. You have the Jack of Spade. Would you take out the Jack of Spade, hand it to me, and then the King of Clubs? Yes. After that, I saw the 5 of Clubs. After that, I saw the 2 of Hearts. I believe there was a 9 of Spade. Whoa. There could have been the highest card of the deck, the Ace of Spade. I believe there was. Wow. There was the 3 of Hearts. Yep. There was a 6 of Club. Yep. There was a red 8. I don't know if it was a heart or a diamond. I'm going to go diamond. There was an 8 of diamonds. Really?
Yes.
Oh, God, no. There was a black ace, the club. Oh, both aces. The spade was, there's the club. There was a 10 of spade. And then the card you chose, the card you looked at the beginning, the 5 of hearts. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I believe you have the 2 of diamond. Would you hand me back the 2 of diamond? There's another diamond in there. It's a high. You like diamonds, don't you? I can tell. There's a king of diamonds in there. Let me have the king of diamonds. Give me that 7 of diamonds while you're at it. And my mother's favorite card, the 8 of clubs. Give me the 8 of clubs. And I believe the last card you're holding is the card you looked at in the beginning, the 3 of spade.
That is correct.
Thank you. Ed Marlo on a memorized deck. Ed Marlo had a chapter published in Ibidem Volume 1 with 2 great ideas for memorized deck work. As a matter of fact, the 2 ideas I'm about to teach you are what started Simon Aronson on memorized deck magic. Once he read this chapter and read the ideas and some of the things you can do with a memorized deck, it started his mind going, and he hasn't stopped since. He, in my opinion, is the king of memorized deck work. And let's talk about what was in Ibidem, okay? And I'm going to use Simon's stack to explain. Simon Aronson's stack can be purchased from L&L Publishing on Simon Aronson's DVDs, or you can buy one of his books or visit his website. And the stack, basically, what a memorized deck is, it's a deck that I have memorized. I not only know the order from front to back of every card, I also know its number in the deck. For example, if somebody would say number 3, I would know that the 5 of clubs is number 3. If somebody said number 43, I would know the king of spades is 43, and so on. How do you memorize a deck? Everybody says something different. The way I did it in 2 nights. I did it raw. I did it by just taking groups of 10 cards and memorizing it, and once I thought I had it, I'd go to the next 10 cards. In all honesty, it probably took me 3 nights, but I worked hard at it, and I did it that way. If you do visit Simon's website, he can give you, there's many other ideas written there that you can use that will help you. Okay, so let's get into just the ideas that were in the Ibidem, okay? The first idea that Marlo started was the ability to be able to let a layman cut off a packet of cards, look at the bottom card, and shuffle them. And now Ed was able to tell the person what card they had. And this was a breakthrough. I believe in memorized deck work. Marlo, when he was young, hung around with Laurie Ireland a lot, and Laurie Ireland used memorized decks. So between the two of them, these ideas were born. And the first one, as I said, was where a spectator cuts off a packet of cards. Let's say this is the packet he cut off. You tell the spectator, look at the bottom card and shuffle the cards. Okay? So it would appear to an audience that there's no way you can find that card right now. But there is, okay? You now have another spectator cut off a packet. Let's say their card is the 4 of hearts, and these cards are shuffled as well. So it really looks like you're lost. There's no way you can find these cards. All you have to do is ask the spectator to fan the cards towards you like I did in the presentation for 3 seconds. You make a big deal that you're going to memorize them, and it really is just a big deal because you don't even have to look at the cards. You already know these because they're memorized, so all you're really doing is calling out the cards in order. It's important that they shuffle the card after they looked because you don't want them to see that they're in order. So now when I call out the order, Jack of Spades, the Jack comes from there. The next card in the stack is the King of Clubs. That came from over here. The next card is the 5 of Clubs, and then we have the 2 of Hearts, and then we have the 9 of Spade, the Ace of Spade, the 3 of Hearts, the 6 of Clubs, the 8 of Diamonds, and then the Ace of Club, the 10 of Spade, the 5 of Hearts. I know that this is the order of the memorized deck. That's all I know. Then the 2 of Diamond, King of Diamond, 7 of Diamond. The last card that he's holding will be the card he thought of, the 8 of Clubs. So what I did there was not only find his card, but by taking these cards back, the deck is going back into memorized order. So when I get to the second spectator and I start taking his cards, this is 15, so I start with his is 16th card. So after the selection, all I have to do is just keep mentioning these next, okay, and calling them out. So the 3 of Diamonds, and you go through all of these, and it works the same way as the first one. That's how you get the deck back into memorized order. That was the first idea. Thank you very much. Let's try something else. Let's try something. I'm going to give the cards just a little bit of a shuffle like this. And would you do me a favor, Scotty? Would you cut off just a small packet of cards, look at the bottom card, remember what it is, and then give them a shuffle so there's no way I can know that card. Okay. Remember the card in your mind, please. Okay. Olga, would you do the same and just cut off a small packet, look at the bottom card, remember what it is, tell it to no one, shuffle it up, burn it in your memory. Don't forget, I will be asking you. Angela, try to forget about my phone number for a minute, and you're going to pick a card. Take about a small packet of cards, look at the bottom card, and shuffle them up. Remember your card. And sucker, sir, you do the same. Take off just a few. Sorry, I had to call you that, Zach. Look at the bottom card, remember it, and shuffle the cards, okay? And everybody shuffle your card. Mix them up. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find each one of your cards. Scotty, I'm going to start with you, okay? Look into my eyes. I think I got it. I think that's yours. We'll get back to that in a minute. And Olga, let me see. I believe that's yours. And let me try this one. Let's see. Yours is, I think it's that one. And one more. I'm not sure about these. Yeah, I know I got. I'm not positive, but I think I got everybody's. Okay, I think I got everybody. So let's see how we did. Okay, Zach, I'll start with you. If I'm right, that should be your card. That was the Jack of Diamonds. That's one right. And Angela, yours was the Seven of Hearts. That's two. And Olga, yours was the King of Diamonds. And one more. Yours, for some reason, is always the toughest. Yours is the Jack of Clubs.
No, it wasn't.
Are you serious?
10 of spades.
Wait a minute. We got a King, Seven, Jack. What was it?
10 of spades.
Yeah, good. That's what I said. What? Like what? What do you think I'm going to miss? Huh? You think after all these card tricks I'm going to miss? Another great idea that was in the Ibidem was a way to find out what a person's card was when it was cut and shuffled by counting the cards. And in the performance, I did a routine where 4 people cut off small packets of cards, each one, and I was able to have each one look at the bottom card of each, shuffle them up, each pile was shuffled, and then pretty much instantly I was able to find those cards. And it was done by counting. Okay, so after they shuffle the packet, all I have to do is, it looks like I'm looking through them. Actually, I just counted them. There's 8 cards here, so I know that the 8th card in the stack is the 6 of clubs. I know this guy had the 6 of clubs, so I put it face down on the table, and I remember number 8. I take the second packet. Because that was 8, I now continue my count, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The 15th card in the stack is the 7 of diamonds. So I know the second card is the 7 of diamonds. I place that on the first. Place these on the side. I now continue my count starting at 15, and I go 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I pretend that I'm looking at these and studying them, but actually I'm just counting. So I know that the 20th card in my stack, in Simon's stack rather, I'll take credit for it. I taught it to him. The 20th card is the 5 of spade. Okay, and I put that down. Now when I pick up the very last packet, I continue to count 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I know that the 26th card is the Queen of Hearts. Instead of just taking the Queen of Hearts and putting it down, I take the Queen of Hearts plus another card. I make sure that the indifferent card is the one on the face, and I put both of those down as one. I now go to the first spectator and I say, what was your card? And they name it. And what I do, I'm sorry, you go to the fourth spectator first. I say, what was the name of your card? She says, the Queen of Hearts. I turn this card over, and as I turn it back down, I get a break under the next card. So now, once this card is turned down, I take 2 cards and place them on the bottom. I say, that's correct, that was your card. I go to the third person, name your card. They name it. I turn over the next card, and that is the third person's. I put that on the bottom. Second spectator, I say, name your card. They name it. I turn this over. That's the second spectator. And now for the first guy, if I pull down 2 cards back here, 1, 2, with my finger like that, I can now turn over a triple. I say, 8 of spade, is that your card? The person says no. You turn these face up. You spread over 1. And then you buckle the bottom card out. You say, well, that's odd. The other 3 people see their cards here. I say, you know what? I'll just rub this, and we'll change it to your card. And anyway, those are 2 ideas that appeared in Ibidem, Volume 1, and that's what got Simon Aronson started. So if it's good enough for him to get started on a memorized deck, then it's good enough for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, you know what? You guys have been a great audience for me, and I kind of feel touched. We're like one big happy family. So I'm going to do something in return for you that I wouldn't do for any audience. This is one of my best tricks. I do it for only a few individuals, people that really mean a lot to me. So tonight I'm going to show you what we call the vanishing card trick. It is unbelievable. Big illusionist offered me money for this, and I would not sell it. But you're going to just love this, okay? Here's the way it works. Kiri, would you do me a favor? Would you just say stop anywhere you want?
Stop.
Okay. And is that a free choice, this card here?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you take a look at the card and show it to everyone. I'll look away while you do that. Show it to the crowd. Don't let me see it. Everyone remember the card. And I want you to place it right on top. And I'm going to lose your card in the pack. Now, remember what I said the name of the trick was, the vanishing card? Watch this close. I'm going to make your card completely disappear from the deck. And I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to put it up my sleeve or anything like that. All I do is snap my finger like this, and it's gone. Completely 100% gone. You trust me, right? Oh, what do you mean, prove it? You don't trust me. All right. So I'm going to go through the deck, and I want you to watch for your card. That's not your card, is it? And hopefully that's not your card. I'm going to go through, and just stop me if you see your card. I'm going to show you each and every card, okay? Have you seen your card yet? No. No? Have you seen it yet?
No.
How about now?
No.
Isn't that something? The vanishing card. Look, it is completely gone. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Every single card in the deck is shown, and your card is completely gone. Okay? Can you see that? Oh, we don't want a joker. We don't want that in there. Okay? Have you seen it yet?
No.
Look, I'm going real slow. I'm not taking any cards away. Nothing's going up my sleeve. Your card, hopefully, is completely gone. Have you seen it?
No.
No? How about now?
No.
How about now?
No.
How about now? How about now? One left. This has to be it. Is that it?
No.
Well, that's the vanishing card trick. No. But now the hard part. I want you, Carrie, to say to me, Bill, make it come back.
Bill, make it come back.
I can't. I can't. Say, ask me why.
Why?
Because you're sitting on it.
Oh.
Stand up. Take a look. Show everybody the card. Yes. Give Carrie a big round of applause. Thank you very much, Carrie. The vanishing card. Fell for that twice this week. Hi everybody, it's me again, and I'm going to talk to you about the routine you saw called the vanishing card. Marlo had many methods scattered throughout the literature on the vanishing card, and this is one that he did for me back in the early 80s, and it was my favorite. I added the addition of the card appearing under a person's seat when I saw Ernie Spence, a famous Chicago bar magician, do this night after night, where he would actually have his waitress load a card under somebody's seat, and then later on force the card, and she'd be sitting on it. And the reaction to this is just unbelievable. You know, even though to us it's just a force card and she's sitting on it, to a layperson, when they get up and they find that card under their chair, it really is something they'll remember a long time. So I combined the vanishing card of Marlo with that, and I think it's just a great trick. Let me explain it to you. First of all, you have to load a spectator, obviously. There's a lot of ways you can do that. In my show, I do a trick where I have a spectator stand up and take a bow to the audience, and I'm usually able to load them myself. Other times I will have the meeting planner do it, or I'll have somebody there that'll help me do it. However you can, just load a card under somebody's seat and you are ready to go. This is a great trick. You also will need a joker. The joker is going to be your key card to use during the card vanish. And everything else is a regular deck, can be a shuffle deck, makes no difference, okay? So you start off, let's say that the card you loaded under their seat is Marlo's favorite card, the 7 of diamonds. So I'm going to place the 7 of diamonds on the bottom of the deck, and right below the 7 of diamonds is the joker, which is later going to be my key card. Let me explain, okay? So you start off, you're going to do a dribble force, and the way you're going to force is a one-handed bottom deal called the bomb door card, okay? And it looks like this. You begin by holding the cards in overhand position. You dribble the cards down till the spectator says stop. When the spectator says stop, you push the top card over, and as you go forward, while you're moving, you're going to push the bottom card over square with the top card. And again, the way this is done is the 3 fingers work as a unit to buckle, loosen, and push over, okay? And to cover any finger movement from underneath, the movement of going forward covers all of that. Now the bomb door card is done. It looks like you just take the top card and drop it on the table. Okay, it's hard to do slow. You don't want that card to really move at all, okay? So you want that card to just land as straight as it can be. All right, so now you have them look at the card and remember it, which they do. They show it to the audience. And now remember, your key card's on the bottom. So you swing cut half the deck into your hand and you have the card replaced. Once the card is replaced, you just drop these on top, casually dribble it, spread the card, say a few lines. That way they know you're not using any sleight of hand to control the card. Lift up the deck. Now, because I did the swing cut with half a pack when the card was returned, I know the selection is about the middle. Sometimes what I'll do, and I'm going to do it now, is just cut a few cards to the bottom because I want to get to the joker without having to deal half the deck. So here's what you're going to do now. You go through your pattern that you're going to make the card completely disappear from the pack. You do that, and it's gone. You say, you don't believe me? It really is. It's gone. Here, I'll prove it to you. Now you take the deck and you lean back in your chair. And you start turning cards over, stud fashion like this, face up to the table. And every few cards you ask, have you seen the card yet? They'll say no. You say, how about now? They'll continue saying no. You keep doing this, pausing every once in a while to ask if they saw it. They'll say no. Pretty soon the joker will come up. As soon as you see the joker, you take it and you say, that doesn't belong there. Notice my arm right now is covering the deck. It's at this moment, as soon as the hand comes from here to here, that top card of the deck, which is the 7 of diamonds, okay, that's the selection. It's at that moment that the 7 of diamonds is dropped into the lap, and then you come back, and you don't speed up because it's over. Still deal slow, pausing every once in a while. Do you see it yet? Do you see it yet? Now you can start dealing a little quicker and deal them in a row so they can check too, and then say, look, your card really is completely gone. Then you say to the spectator, ask me to make it reappear. And they ask you, you say, I'm sorry, I can't. And then ask me, Bill, why can't you? And they say, why can't you? I say, because you're sitting on it. They get up, they look down, and when they find that card under their chair, it's one of the best reactions you can get from a card trick. Hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You know, most gamblers, if you ask them if they could do anything they wanted with a deck of cards, almost all of them would say the same thing. They would want to win, of course. But the easiest and quickest way to win is by playing a game called cutting a high card. Cutting a high card means whoever gets the highest card would win. So a gambler's dream would be able to take a shuffled deck of cards and then actually be able to cut the 4 aces each and every time. Let me give you a demonstration, okay? Watch the cards close. I'm going to take the cards, and if I cut at exactly the right spot, right about here, that should be the first ace. That's number 1. Now think about this just for a minute, okay? If I was even 1 card off, either way I would have missed, okay? So I'm going to do it again. And before I do it, I want you to notice that the cards are not bent. They're not marked. There's nothing wrong with these cards at all. You can check them out. They really are a regular deck of cards. All I do is take the cards, and if I cut at just the right spot, about here, I will have an ace, okay? Thank you. And again, remember, if I'm even 1 card off either direction, I would lose. So I'm going to give the cards a shuffle and make it a little harder on me. So now that the cards have been shuffled up a little bit, I'll give another cut, and there's the 3rd ace. That's the ace of clubs. And again, 1 card either direction, I would have lost. Now, the last ace is somewhere in the deck. I'm not going to look, but you can see it's hopefully somewhere in the deck is the last ace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to not only try to cut to that last ace, but I'm going to tell you exactly where it is with 100% exact accuracy. The last ace is exactly 20 cards from the top of the deck. Not only that, but I'm going to cut exactly 20 cards. Better yet, Frank, you take the cards and count down to the 20th card. Go ahead. One at a time. Count them out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Turn it over, Frank. And that would be a gambler's wish come true. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, everybody, here's a great trick. Marlo's Miracle Aces from Pharaoh Controlled Miracles. Some people also know this trick and call it Estimation Aces, but its real name is Miracle Aces, and this is how it works. What a great ace cutting routine. You start off, the 4 aces are on top of the deck, and you're going to overhand shuffle 8 cards on top of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In jog the 9th card and shuffle off until the deck is exhausted. Now pick up a break at your in jog, okay, and shuffle off up to the break again until the deck is exhausted. So what you did was you just shuffled 8 cards on top of the 4 aces. Now you're going to give the cards a Pharaoh shuffle, but again, don't let those 2 words scare you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Only the top 12 cards need to be perfect. So I cut the deck approximately half, and I'm going to butt the ends together and very lightly rub them. And if you do it correctly with a good deck of cards, it's harder to do slow than it is fast, you get a good shuffle, okay? If there are, this is the packet, by the way, that had the aces. So if there's any cards left over from the other side on top, when you cascade the cards together, take those cards off and put them on the bottom. So now the order of the deck will be, the aces will be 17, 19, 21, and 23 from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 from the top, okay? Now all you have to do is a little bit of estimation. You start off by spreading the cards and squaring them up, and you estimate anywhere between 17 and 23 cards. So actually that's right above center. So if I estimate above the center, I'm going to get an ace every time. Now sometimes the ace will come on the face of the packet, sometimes it'll come on the top of the packet. Let me show you what I mean. In this case, the ace came on the top of the packet. So I'm going to turn over the ace, and then I'm going to say, if I would have went 1 card further, either way I would have missed. I take this card from the center and I replace it on the top. What that does is it keeps my order of the aces still alternating. To cut to the second ace, I spread out the cards. I let the spectator check for crimps, okay, or edge markings, and then I put the deck down, and again, I estimate just above center. And when I turn over the card, I'll have the second ace. Remember, sometimes it'll appear here. If it does, you just deal it down either way. Now again, you turn this over and say, if I would have went 1 card deeper, I would have missed. The third time, I give the cards a little Vernon false cut by lifting up about a third of the cards, taking out the middle packet, dropping it to the table. I then take the top packet, drop that on top. I then slap the last packet on top of everything, but I hold the break so I can do a little square up and then cut the cards at the break. It's a false cut. It didn't change anything. The last 2 aces are still where they were. Now again, I'm going to estimate. There it is. This time it came on the face, so I deal it down. And again, I say if I would have been 1 card off, I would have missed. Now, no matter which aces came out or in what order they came out, the last ace, the spades, will be 20 cards from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, okay? So what I do is I hold the cards face up. I Hindu shuffle the bottom half of the deck. Then I turn the deck down, end for end. I swing cut half the cards. I hold a break here as I swing cut little packets. Now I have a break in the middle. I put the deck down. I cut the deck at the break and complete the cut. I say to the spectator, not only will I cut to the last ace, but it's exactly 20 from the top. I go like this, I immediately put it back, and I say, better yet, you count. And I give the deck to the spectator. They count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's Miracle Ace Cutting from Marlo's Pharaoh-Controlled Miracles. A real masterpiece. Wow, that was a lot of card tricks. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this series as much as I've enjoyed creating it. As you can tell by now, Ed Marlo was a great influence on me, and I will never forget him for that. His generous advice and knowledge enabled me to pursue my passion and taught me to think about card magic in ways I never thought of before. The most important lesson I think he taught all of his students was how to think when learning or creating a card trick. Don't be afraid to experiment. Work it backwards, work it forwards, he would say. Try it this way, try it that way. Whenever possible, try to improve on the idea. Never settle for confusion. Make the trick as clear as possible. I created this series with the hopes that once again, Marlo's magic would inspire magicians throughout the world. Originally, I felt this would be a great way to thank my friend and mentor, Eddie Marlo. However, these last few months of compiling and studying his material once again has sparked my passion for this art I love so dearly. Now that this project is finished, I feel I owe him more than when I started. I'm more into card magic now than I've been for the last 20 years. So if I've done what I've intended to do with this project, which is to inspire you to get out there and shuffle those cards, and when you come up with those great ideas, variations, and improvements, don't thank me, thank Mr. Marlo, a man I will always love and still never be able to repay. But I will keep on trying. Hey, sounds like a sequel.